So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take one step closer to getting to the top of Google business rankings. And it's using a really easy to use step-by-step system. Now to help us, I've been given this made up golf business. It was actually registered on a video I did about a year ago. For some reason, Google just approved it for no reason, and so I've just let it be. But interestingly, it's been getting some traffic, and now I'm going to show you how even with a business that's just been let go for over a year, you can still get some increased traffic from it. So for my example, I'm using Aberdeen Golf Shop. There you can see nothing's really been done with Aberdeen Golf Shop, but you notice it has built up some traffic for just the fact that people are inquiring and wanted to know more about it. Now the method I'm going to share with you today is going to use the very latest of Google's algorithms for Google Business Profile, and it's also going to help to get it seen on the maps more often using some keyword strategies. But you don't need to know anything about keyword strategy because I'm going to show you exactly where you can go in your business so that you know exactly the right keywords to use to get more traffic. So all you need to do is just follow along with these simple tips. You could perhaps just pause the video when you need to and do exactly the same with your business. And before long, you'll then start to see the impact of what these changes will do for your business too. And you can see the success of doing this because if you look through my comments, that they're generally helping proper businesses get some traction, get some customers, get new clients and get found on Google Maps. And this is the reason why other business owners are commenting like this and saying these positive things and subscribing to these videos. So don't miss out, do subscribe. So for this video, it's going to be quite simple. I'm going to keep it easy. There's going to be no schema markup to get confused with. You won't be stressing over that bounce rate that people go on about. You can forget the fancy pants link building that other SEO gurus go on about. And I don't want you spending ages trying to find the right keywords to be tuned up and tweaked on Yoast and on WordPress. Because all that's going to do is just eat up your time. It's going to put you off SEO and you'll not see the results any different. If it's complicated, the next time you won't want to do it because it'll feel daunting. So this is going to be really easy to follow. So to start with, you just need to become your client. Now, what does that actually mean, become your client? Well, put yourself in the mind of your client. So how are you going to do that? Well, first of all, just imagine that you're looking for your business. So go to Google and type in the business name that you've got. Now, hopefully, if you've got it tweaked already with Google, then your business profile will come up under your business name. Now, at this point, if you need to pause the video, then pause it and then come back to it. But just open a browser and see your business come up on the knowledge panel on the side if you've got it on your desktop. If you get stuck, you might just need to type in My Business, and that also will reveal it. And there's lots of other ways in which you can find your business, which I've done videos for in the past if you get stuck here. Now, as I mentioned on the previous video, I do this at the start of the day. Why? Because if Google's got anything at all it needs doing, if there's anything it requires from me, it will show on that particular screen. It will say straight away what types of things Google's after. And following through on those suggestions gives Google the signal that you're very much in charge of your business, that your business is kept up to date. So I've said this before, it's a major tip, but don't ignore these things. If Google asks you to do something, there's normally a good reason why, and the signal it provides is always a positive thing for your business. So if you've got your business in front of you, then all you need to do now is just follow this simple plan. I guarantee that 50% of people, they register their business and they just leave it. It free falls like a bungee jumper, has nowhere to go. So they start off with a few inquiries and then they never get any again. And then they wonder why they've registered their business and Google gives them no traffic. Well, that's where it's about to change. If you're determined to not follow that process, you're at a massive advantage over your competitors. Now, step 2 to this process is to go and get these keywords that are actually working for you. So if you've got any traffic at all on your business in the past, then you can find out now what brought the traffic. So what did people type in to Google or on Google Maps to come across your business? And what that will do is that will make sure that those keywords, you start to take an ownership for them, particularly the ones that are relevant to your business. And what we're going to try and do is get a snowball effect. So I'm going to make some notes now of what the keywords are that are bringing traffic into my business. And you can do the same. You just click on the views per month from your screen, and there it takes you to your analytics, or this is often known as insights. And if you just go down slightly down the page, you see there the keywords that brought traffic to your business. And what you might want to do is take the top 5 that are actually relevant to your business. Make a note of them. So I'm making a note here of the keywords that are bringing in traffic. Now, once you've got a list of those keywords, just think in terms of your customers. When they put those into the Google search, what was their intent? Well, it may be they're looking for a golf shop in my case, but for you, if you're a plumber or a window cleaner, they're probably looking for your services. So now think in terms of, if they're looking for your services, how could you present it so that you say, yes, I am the right fit for what you've just been searching for? Well, you can often do it with a question. So, are you looking for a local plumber? Well, that might use the very keywords that you've got. For me, it might be, are you looking for a golf shop in Aberdeen? And that would fit in too. But by immediately asking questions, then your customers that have just searched for it go, yes, and they can link onto you. Whereas your competitors probably haven't asked those questions right from the start. So those are the ways in which you can connect with your customers using the very keywords that they've been using to search for your business. In fact, what you can do is just use Google as a way of understanding what Google wants when it comes to those keywords, and then replicate it in your own unique way on your website and on your profile. And over time, what you want to do is you want your website and your profile to use these keywords constantly. And they should be done through products, through offers, through FAQs. The whole thing should work together so that you're cementing in these keywords. And then you should review the keywords and see what other new ones come along as well as you build up your authority. But don't worry about that for now, because that'll be on another video, a bit more detail into how to do that. But you get the general idea of just doing it for perhaps your first 5 keywords today. And now the third part of the strategy is to go back and feed Google. And I mentioned it earlier on when you did a search for your business, you get an idea of what Google's looking for. So now we're just going to consider how we feed Google. In fact, on a recent video, I mentioned how Google's a bit like a Tamagotchi, where every so often it needs waking up, every so often it needs feeding, it needs looking after. But the difference is with Tamagotchis, they probably don't say what they want feeding. I've never used one before. But with Google and the algorithm, it actually tells you, feed me this today. I need to know about your business hours. Feed me this. I want to know more about your description. Have you considered having ads with a £400 credit? Have you considered having more reviews and sharing your link? Now, you don't have to always get a positive response to those signals, but just acknowledging it, clicking on it, will let Google know that you've dealt with that. And think of it from Google's point of view. Say you're a plumber. If it says to plumber A, can you give me this information? And it says to plumber B, can you give this information? And plumber B gives it back within a few days. And plumber A never gives any feedback. When Google's ranking plumber A and plumber B, well, if it comes down to location, maybe plumber A is nearer to the searcher. But when it comes down to authority, Google's going to give the authority to the one that it knows responds to its customers, responds to Google. Google's saying, if you care for me, then you probably care for your customers. Let me give you a boost in rankings. Now, I know that sounds really basic, and that is perhaps a basic way of explaining it, but that really is, to some degree, how it works. So now already you've got a strategy that's going to give you at least 5 times more the power than you had before the start of this video. But why would you want to stop there when there's several other things you can do as well to increase that boost and your ranking? Because there's one more thing that Google's particularly rewarding at this particular time. And I speak about it in this video here. So an essential tip that if you want to know how that works, then head over to this video now, and I'll see you on that video too.